welcome to the first ever Yes Sir podcast. Why is it called Yes Sir podcast? Maybe I'll explain that one day. It actually is not that brilliant of a name. I just came up with it because, well, we'll get to it one day. What is this podcast going to be about? Well, by trade, I am a lawyer. I do commercial litigation, which means I represent corporations and businesses in legal disputes and represent them in court. However, most of that stuff is not sexy and no one wants to listen to. So this podcast is going to talk about anything and everything I'm interested in, and also probably a major focus of that will be on the legal aspect of certain issues that are either current or in general I want to address. And most of them will not necessarily be something I have expertise on. That's why I don't ever consider this legal advice. I have to say that. That's my disclaimer to you guys. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I am a lawyer talking about some legal stuff, but most of the stuff I don't know what it truly means, because again, I'm not talking about stuff I practice in. This is like a brain surgeon commenting on someone's heart condition. Yeah, it's kind of sounds stupid when I say it out loud. Regardless, why would anyone listen to me? I don't know why anyone would want to listen to me, so I'm giving this a shot anyways. It's a project. If you like it, let me know. If I talk too loud, too fast, which I know I do, or I'm annoying, please let me know. I'll try to improve myself as much as possible, as quickly as possible. So, for example, let me just give you guys a general idea of what I'm hoping this podcast will look like. It very well could be. It's going to change. My main goal is to be consistent, keep uploading, even if only one or two people are actually listening to me or tuning in. So generally, I'll talk about a couple of different items that I am interested in, and then perhaps a larger item. And hopefully, every Sunday I will have that larger item uploaded. When I say item, I'm talking about a topic or an issue. For example, my first official podcast is going to be about flavored e-cigarettes, the ban, and how that's going to impact smokers and shop owners. So tune in for that. Hopefully, it won't be a completely useless rant by me. I know I'm 100% sure when I look back at this a year from now, I will cringe, regardless. The other part of this podcast will be me just quickly touching upon certain things. For example, let's start off with the First Amendment. I get super annoyed when I see people online constantly talking about how, Facebook banned me, can't believe they're infringing upon my First Amendment rights. What happened to my constitutional rights? Well, I hate to break it to you guys. First Amendment protects you from the government taking away certain rights for you to speak, meaning your right to free speech, your right to religion. Facebook is not a government entity, although some people are nowadays arguing perhaps the law should be changed and it should be treated as a public utility and controlled. However, that's not what the Constitution says. That's a slippery slope of making someone like Facebook comply with governmental laws. So you will see where that goes. I don't want to get into details of how Facebook applies. That was just an example. But regardless, please stop saying your First Amendment rights have been infringed upon if it does not have to do with the government taking away your right to speak. Secondly, this is my public service announcement to anyone and everyone that watches a lot of YouTube videos and come across these sovereign citizen lawyers, these folks, which I won't get into detail at least yet as to some of their antics, because I don't want some paper terrorism to start on me. But regardless, they do have certain topics that they do address, and some of them need to be clarified. So, sovereign citizens are people who believe they are above. Well, I wouldn't use the word above. They just believe that due to certain actions they have taken and due to their birthrights, they no longer are controlled by the U.S. government. Hence, the U.S. government laws don't apply to them. That's not, like I said, I'm not going to get into that theory in detail. But one thing I want to help anyone and everyone with: if you ever show up at court because you have a traffic ticket, please do not argue that the court does not have personal jurisdiction on you, unless, of course, you were not driving within that district court's jurisdiction. And then you can say, look, I'll transfer my case to a different district court. What you really shouldn't argue is that I somehow filed some sort of documentation and therefore I am no longer obliged to comply with your laws. Let me give you an analogy. If an alien landed in America tomorrow, set foot in California, let's say, and kicked someone, officially California will then have jurisdiction, personal jurisdiction over him, and he cannot argue, I am an alien of a different planet. Your laws do not apply to me, and therefore in court you cannot enforce your laws upon me. Now, I'm sure if an alien came here, he'll have better technology than us, and I don't know how that will go. Regardless, in theory, he will be under the jurisdiction of the local district court that he's appearing in. So please, 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 when you're talking to sovereign citizens or when you're listening to their videos, please do not adopt a personal jurisdiction argument. It won't help you. I'm sure you can come up with better arguments, or just hope that the officer who gave you the $120, $150 ticket just does not show up in court, or you just get a reduced uh, traffic infraction. Regardless, that was my public service announcement. Again, this is my first podcast, first time trying this out. I hope you guys like it. I hope this is entertaining. If not, please do let me know, and I will try to improve as I move forward with this project. Thanks again. Welcome to Yes Sir Podcast.